So with the introduction of the Hero SBC now being available to be able to be complete 3 times in the next week, I imagine this is what we're going to get for the next few weeks now. They've completely given us the top end value, and to be honest, I did realize that we've only got 89s. Like, it actually makes no difference really, because we have a max of 88. Really, we're only missing 89s and that's it. There's no higher than that. So it does make sense that they've uncapped it now compared to icons, which were obviously still a max of 88 at the moment. It's coming in at 95k a time. The question is it worth it? Now, obviously, you've got your top end players. Your Ginola is the most expensive hero that you can get from this. And naturally, we know, regardless of kind of price for him, he was always going to be in that top value. That is Ginola through and through. Now, some of these cards, like for instance Hazard, has had an upgrade already. So we can obviously see him with his 89 already. Now, stats-wise, it's not necessarily that big of a deal. We've obviously got 4-star, 4-star still. He's got a couple of rolls extra, a couple of stats, and that's really about it. Now, obviously, with these heroes, they can go up in rating when it comes to the prime time. So that is something extra with him. There is a chance, I believe, of a 90. I don't think they go up twice, but I could be wrong. Double check that with me. But in terms of him, regardless, there is a few that obviously will be up there. We did get a few of the brand new ones. De Rossi was another one that you can get that won't be in this list, as he's not available in the hero upgrade. Now, going through this list then straight off the bat, let's have a look through a few of these players, because naturally when you look at the likes of your Lucio, you know they're going to be the top. You see Hazard, you see Di Natale, Yaya Toure, Ramirez. They are the standard ones that are obviously going to be in the top rating. Of course they are. They are the best of the best. But the interesting part now is looking a bit further down this list and thinking, well, Ledley King is not a bad player whatsoever. Like, in this early game at the moment, maybe, yes, it might be a bit of a change mid-December. Ledley King kind of is going to be under the power curve a little bit more as they do increase it. But for right now, he definitely would come under it. So if I was to just go through a few of this list and kind of go through a few of the big players, if we get them already in, because I don't think there's anybody that's questioning whether Di Natale, Maicon, or obviously kind of Hazard are going to be up there with the best of them. We then also have, who's another one? Where's Yap Stam, of course. So obviously with these, they are going to be our top guidelines. So they are going to be our S+ every single day of the week and twice on a Tuesday. So then we go into the Fernando Morientes, the Voler, the Papin, the strikers that most definitely can do it. And if we were speaking specifically from hero perspective, if we kind of go in and we'll change the position to just striker only, there is a lot of good strikers in the hero list, and still at a pretty good price for a lot of them as well. Now, yes, there is definitely some woeful ones to some extent, but even then, you look at like your Carnus and players like that, they're going to be gauntlet free teams. Carnu, Cahill, El Jabba, Crouch is 4 players, unfortunately, I have in my club from previous hero packs. And unfortunately, they're just not going to make it. At 85, 86, realistically what they're hoping for is an upgraded card. For instance, Crouch has that. He's gone into an 87. Obviously, he's an ultimate scream, so he's got a 99 shooting at the moment. That will drop down, but he's got an upgraded card regardless, and it's still only 10k more. Some players are just not built for it, unfortunately. Whereas when you do look at the likes of your Papim, you do look at your Fernando Morientes and players like that, they definitely are better than the average, but still lower than your Mbappes, your Hazards, your R9s, your Cruyffs. I would go with like a Morientes for me personally. I'd be looking more towards an A+. I think he'd drop out of an S in my opinion. And then if we was kind of looking at like a Voler, I think personally for me, the Playstyle Plus is going to have that impact. The funny thing is with Voler, it's all about his just speed going through. Morientes isn't necessarily a speedy striker. He's just he's almost a finisher. He will, if you get him in front of goal, he will score. And very much like a Kane, it's got a little bit more pace, but naturally as you're paying a little bit more, you want that bit extra. And I think we've always had it. Voler's always been a cracking option. Govu's always been one. And Papin's never been a bad card, but it's always just been that one under. Power shot, again, is not necessarily my favourite. I've always kind of gone towards more your Voler, your I did like Francescoli, to be fair. He's actually a lot less than I thought he was. Forlan was another one that I did think was pretty decent. Same with Smolarek. I really like Smolarek this year. I would rate him over Francescoli and also Forlan, but price-wise is determined already. Valali, another fantastic one, but he is coming in quite cheap. It's the precision header, realistically. I don't think it adds much value to it, in my opinion. Obviously, Collier goes in that solid centre-back role, but if I was looking at specific strikers, I really don't like Gomez. I think for me, his Enforcer Plus keeps him at that A. I would really be looking at a B very, very comfortably if he doesn't have that. Same with like a Milito, Diego Milito. He would be another one that I'd be considering more in towards an A category if it wasn't for that low driven. The low driven adds that value to him. Now, whether I think he's an S, I think I'd possibly drop him down one more, but the low driven is going to hold him up pretty nicely. Same with Forlan, I'd drop into an A+ in this. Francescoli, I'm really happy with the first touch on him, and I'm probably looking more towards Cam than I am striker. He works it very, very well. We then obviously have got the likes of Tevez. I mean, Tevez is absolute dynamite in this. Still not necessarily top. I think he's very, very close, but he's most definitely more towards an S value than an S+, in my opinion anyway. So if you're looking for coins, head over to Eldorado.gg. There is huge amounts of verified sellers on Eldorado, and there is a money back guaranteed by Trade Shield. If that's not enough, there is 24/7 live support and also plenty of reviews across websites that will definitely put your mind at ease. And as always, before you check out, make sure that you are using the code JT11 for 5% off every single order. Back to the video. Now we're back with the list. Didn't realise half of the players have not loaded up, but we've added them all in and naturally we've just refreshed the list up. Now, if we go from kind of like highest rated to lowest, we look at like Abide Pele. Solid card, to be honest. He's most definitely had himself a nice kind of glow up again this year. 300,000 coins. He's a great card. I don't think he's an S+ in terms of Cam, the Rapid Plus. I do like him more on the wing once he gets special versions and kind of gets himself in place there. I think right now, if you manage to get him, you're absolutely put him in the team, but I don't think he's an absolute in my opinion. Sasic, another one, most definitely coming in decent-ish sort of rating, but realistically it is more stat padded, if anything. I think that one really kind of comes in towards more of the A, if anything, and I'd say that's being very, very polite. I'd even possibly go one further down. Just never really got on board, really. JJ, obviously fantastic. Love his skills this year. Again, he's always had such a nice cam card. He's just never been the personal focus of many teams. He's always been skillful, but not enough. Lizarazu, arguably up there with one of the better ones in the S+. I must admit, left back goes. We haven't got many heroes that really go the left back other than really him, Bompastor and Capdevia have the top end sorted easily. John Onorisa obviously throws his name in there, but still not necessarily in that sort of level. I'd go Carvalho, absolutely in that S. Limonen, I'd probably be looking at an A+, first touch plus, decent stats across the board. Nothing too crazy. I think he's coming in, if I find him, he's 88. He is in at a whopping 20,000 coins. So he's done himself pretty well for that sort of price. He's obviously going to be one that you can get a considerable amount of time. Marquez, 80k. As a centre-back goes, I've been a big fan of Collier and also Carvalho. They've both been solid centre-backs. I'd drop him down one more. Mascherano, fantastic CDM or centre-back. Obviously has an 89 version as well. Future would be an interesting one. His 89 looks stunning, and to be honest, it's not that much of an upgrade more, to be fair to him. Like, realistically, we're looking at, like, mainly at the pace because of the 99, but really 2s and 1s across the board. Naturally gets the 4-star, goes for the low driven, so really adds that level to him, and it's just a great dynamic. I don't know what it is. It's just one of them older dynamics that you absolutely love. Company obviously goes into the top category. Bruiser Plus this year is most definitely on. Vidic has been phenomenal for a lot of people. He's another one that throws himself, to be honest, possibly doing him a bit of just a disservice, really. I could throw him up one more. Obviously, then we've added a few more that I was like, I know we have a lot more of these heroes that go in the top. Obviously, Yaya Toure goes in. Matuidi Ramirez, just to add a few more. Schneider, absolutely love him. Love his upgraded card as well. Keebler, again, I'd possibly be looking more towards the lower value. She's got the incisive, so I think you'd keep her up into like maybe a more of an A+, but nothing really further than that. Same with Joe Cole. He's another one. He kind of reminds me very much of Saka in the sense that he should have a solid card, and by the time he has something worth putting in the team, we've already got way above that power curve. So unfortunately, he would drop out of it just that little bit much as well for me. We move into a few of the 87s. Obviously, Rui Costa, another one that would come in quite cheaply now. I'd be looking kind of a one down. Then obviously Cordoba throws himself into the S. Same with Z Roberto. They are two phenomenal players that you can get in there. Z Roberto, just for the amount of positions that he can kind of get into from his left mid, his centre mid, and the left back. His upgraded version is normally pretty versatile, which is nice to see. Brolin, another fantastic striker. I think he's slightly a bit down this year compared to what we've seen. I definitely see we've got an emerging market now of the strikers in Heroes, whether that's purely from the perspective of they're difficult to get or they're actually solid in game. We'll see. Georges Hamšík, very easy in that S category. Centre-back wise, again, another upgrade on her. Absolutely phenomenal card, to say the least. She comes in at 120 on this version, and then 376 for her UWCL version as well. Very, very nice card. And then obviously Hamšík is another one that throws himself into this mix. He hasn't got anything other than his 88 with the 99 defending, which I think is brilliant for the card right now. Obviously that does go, so he's not going to get a 99 forever, but it's a phenomenal version that you can get on with. But even then, the 87, a great midfielder to have in your team. McManaman, some people's favourites McManaman, I must admit. He was one of them ones that last year when he got his upgraded version, he kind of moved into the right back, was it the winter wildcard? And he played it really well. This year, very much like Joe Cole, he's just not really giving me anything. Now, obviously, Campos, he's got a striker card. I mean, what more can you ask for there? He has definitely had that glow up in the striker. And to be honest, it's not the best striker in the world, but I would much rather have him as striker than I was in net. Like, being 5'6" in a goalkeeper is just not going to work for me. But if I'm thinking about a striking version of him, I mean, I could possibly get on board with that one. That might not be a terrible option, to say the least. Obviously, then we have got the likes of Matuidi. He will naturally just go up to the top. He is brilliant in this year once more. And we also have a Ramirez somewhere, who, again, if you've not been kind of indulged with Ramirez, is just brilliant. We have had Harry Kewell on that left wing for a considerable amount of time. The low driven is really helping him. I have noticed over the past couple of days, couple of weeks, probably like a week now, slowly falling out of it. Now we've got like a Nico Williams as his 87 from a campaign pick, slowly losing that love for him. He's great for the hero aspect and for the low driven, but the freestyle weak foot is really starting to play on it. So we are looking to potentially downgrade him very, very soon. Obviously Marquinhos, I always say that. Marquisio obviously goes in here. Berbatov, another very low striker. First touch is phenomenal, but unfortunately, very much like Gomez, there's only going to be so much that you can actually get from him. And whilst we're down here, we can kind of look at a few of the lower ones. Unfortunately, the likes of Crouch isn't really going to get too much else. Dempsey, Dempsey, it's unfortunate they gave him the acrobatic. I mean, why, to be honest? Absolutely why. He is just unfortunately not usable in any shape imaginable. Neither is Noor. I couldn't get on with him last year. I thought it might have just been me. He just couldn't do anything. Same with Cahill. They're just useless. I try my hardest to get as much out of them, and they just can't. Same with Kanu. Great. He was the very first hero pack I got. He was great for the first week when everybody was still finding their teams. He still was in like the Gauntlet 3 team, but he definitely had a bit of striking prowess. But now there's just absolutely no chance in it, unfortunately. We do also have Williams, who is brilliant in the midfield. Still very questionable at times, but she definitely gets the job done. I'd easily say a nice A+ more so than anything. We obviously then have the kind of the two that did come into the game, or in fact 3 are there, I think. We do have Dumbia somewhere, he's at the bottom. We do have them coming in now as the trio that came in last year. We have 150, 140, 100. I personally liked all of them. I think they are a great link between each other if you're obviously trying to get there. I'd easily put them all into that S category for right now, and they definitely will drop. They're all the lower rated heroes. Same with Alwaran. We could look at maybe an evolution for them as quick as possible, really. We're starting to see like 83s and 4s get into them final evolutions, whether they give us a hero upgrade as of right now, but rapid and 2 quick steps. It's a pretty solid striking line, to be honest. And then obviously they got the likes of Beasley. Unfortunately, he would drop down. I don't think he's totally out the question, but he's most definitely not in a big contention. We obviously then have King, Howard, and I would say, to be honest, this year, I think Dudek's coming in as the best hero keeper. Now, he's not obviously an S+, but he's definitely done pretty well. He's been in my... What team was it? It was for the Primetime League. He has been brilliant in that. He was, again, another one that I got from a hero pack, and he's done really well. Same with like a Guti in that centre mid now. Whether you'd possibly see him potentially drop down a little bit more now, it'd be interesting to see. Obviously, Cap de Villa goes in there, and then I think from there you'd be looking at Bompastor. Maybe Scott would probably go down one more. Obviously, Govu, we already named him before. Would I go Nakata in there? I think if he had the incisive, it'd actually work. He was the very, very first hero I managed to pack. So he was been in for literally like the very start. I think I got him on like the second or third day. And he's been in there non-stop. Other than that, I'd probably say Smolarek might have just got him. But I reckon he'd be more towards the A+ now more than anything. I don't think I would go that far with him. But if we're looking at the rest, I'd possibly then go with Scott into an A+, purely on the fact that right backs are just not as prevalent there. Would go Guti drop down. Park, I love his upgraded version. Park's upgraded version is fantastic. An SBC drives himself into that cam and he absolutely works it. Unfortunately for the 86, he's just not on that wavelength. We've got the pinged pass. We've obviously gained the centre mid as well. We didn't gain any weak foot or skill move, which is a little bit annoying, but regardless, he has been brilliant in that midfield for me. So he has been fantastic, but I'd say his kind of lower rated one is just a little bit off the mark. Same as Dirk Kuyt, he's never really been involved too much. Gully, I quite like him, to be fair. He's not been terrible. I do like his upgraded version. Obviously, 87, so nothing too crazy. But he's been very standard as a right mid. I'd possibly be looking more towards an A+ more than anything. Same with the likes of Carragher. I think he would be another one. As a centre-back goes, solid on the ground, but he will be overrun very, very quickly. El Jabba maybe holds a little bit more with the finesse shot. I don't think it's going to be too much. I'd possibly be looking more towards an A, if anything. Maybe even go down one more. The finesse shot is still relatively broken in some aspects, which works. Like a Solskjaer would work it quite well. But I don't think you could go much more than that, really. Same with John Anarise. Power shot is not really going to use for a left back, but the realistic value that we don't have that many Prem left backs, especially, well, we've got one now, but naturally we didn't have that many. It would work out a little bit better. Donovan, obviously going in there. Keane would go right to the bottom. Now, I'd probably go A for him. He's got a bit of prowess, but nothing crazy. It's definitely only a slight improvement from Kanu. Lundberg would find himself right at the bottom here. Even his upgraded version was awful. It's just not a card you need. And Rosicki would pretty much do the same. I'd give him just a benefit of the doubt. So that is going to be the list of 4 heroes. Let me know if you've managed to get any profit from them hero packs. Have you got anybody in the A+ and above that is worth at least mentioning? And if anybody's got an S+, leave it down below because I want to know the rate at which we get them. But apart from that, let me know down below what you think, and I'll catch you all for the next one. Peace. Look at the S+.